Wonders of China. The Great Wall of China and its timeless landscapes. Stretching across thousands of kilometers, the Great Wall of China is more than just an architectural wonder. It is a breathtaking journey through landscapes that seem to hold the whispers of history. Imagine standing on one of its ancient watchtowers at sunrise, where the wall snakes like a dragon over rugged mountains, forests, and valleys. The crisp morning air carries a sense of timelessness, as the mist rises from the rolling hills and the first light of day paints the horizon in golden hues. From this vantage point, it becomes clear that the wall was not only a defensive structure, but also a pathway through China's natural beauty, connecting deserts, rivers, and highlands across the centuries. As you walk along its weathered stones, every step reveals a new perspective. In the distance, pine-covered mountains form an emerald backdrop, their slopes dotted with blossoming wildflowers in spring and blanketed with snow in winter. Birds of prey soar above the ridgelines, while soft breezes weave through the ancient watchtowers, creating a melody that feels like an echo from the past. The wall blends harmoniously with the terrain. It climbs steep cliffs, curves across valleys, and disappears into the hazy horizon, making it feel like a natural extension of the land itself. The true beauty lies not just in the wall's construction, but in how it integrates with China's diverse landscapes. In one region, you might see the wall stretch endlessly through sandy desert terrain, its golden stones glowing beneath the relentless sun. In another, it winds through lush forests alive with deer, pheasants, and small wildlife, their calls carrying through the dense trees. With each changing environment, the wall takes on a new character, reminding visitors that it was built not only across geography, but also through the soul of a nation's natural wonders. The Great Wall is a place where human ingenuity and the beauty of nature meet seamlessly. Watching the sun set over its rugged silhouette, with shadows falling across the valleys below, you can feel how this monument is more than stone and brick. It is a guardian of stories, landscapes, and the spirit of China itself. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, China's Avatar Mountains. Deep within the Hunan province lies one of the most surreal landscapes on Earth, Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, often called the Avatar Mountains, because of their resemblance to the floating peaks in the famous film. These sandstone pillars, some rising over 200 meters, pierce through the clouds like giant stone guardians standing in silence for millions of years. Shrouded in mist, the scene feels otherworldly, as if you've stepped into a dream where Earth defies its own gravity. Each pillar is covered with lush vegetation, ancient pines clinging to sheer cliffs, their roots digging deep into the rock, defying the odds of survival. At sunrise, Zhangjiajie transforms into a magical canvas. Golden rays cut through the morning fog, illuminating the towering spires and creating a glowing sea of light and shadow. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of damp earth and moss, while the distant calls of birds echo between the stone giants. This place is not just a forest park. It is a sanctuary of untouched wilderness. Walking along its winding trails, you're surrounded by a symphony of life. Tiny insects humming in the undergrowth, squirrels leaping between trees, and rare birds soaring gracefully above the canyons. Perhaps the most breathtaking experience comes from standing on one of the park's glass bridges or skywalks, suspended high above the valleys. From here you look out across a horizon of jagged peaks, layered like waves in an ocean of stone. Clouds drift slowly below your feet, giving the illusion of floating above a sea of mountains. On rainy days, waterfalls cascade from hidden crevices, flowing down the cliffs in silver threads that vanish into the forests below. On clear nights, the stars appear so close, it feels as if the pillars themselves are reaching up to touch the heavens. Zhangjiajie is not only a visual wonder, but also a profound reminder of nature's artistry. These formations were sculpted by time, weather, and erosion, yet what remains feels like a living cathedral built by Earth itself. Standing in silence among these towering columns, you feel both small and infinite. Humbled by nature's power, yet elevated by its beauty. It's no wonder this place has inspired myths, legends, and art for centuries. In Zhangjiajie, the boundary between reality and fantasy dissolves, leaving you with an awe that lingers long after you leave. Guilin Valley, a symphony of colors and nature. Hidden in the remote mountains of northern Sichuan lies one of China's most enchanting landscapes, Guilin Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site often described as a fairyland on earth. The name Guilin means Valley of Nine Villages, but today it is best known for its surreal lakes, cascading waterfalls, snow-capped peaks, and untouched forests that combine to create a natural wonder unlike anywhere else in the world. Here, every season paints the valley in a new palette, transforming it into a living, breathing masterpiece of colors and textures. The valley's lakes are perhaps its most iconic feature. Fed by glacial waters, they shine like giant gemstones scattered across the landscape. Each lake reflects a spectrum of hues: emerald, turquoise, sapphire, and jade, shifting shades as sunlight dances across their surfaces. Beneath the crystal-clear water, fallen tree trunks lie preserved like ghostly sculptures, creating an underwater world that feels frozen in time. Some lakes sparkle with mirror-like reflections of surrounding mountains and forests, so pristine that it is difficult to tell where reality ends and reflection begins. Beyond the lakes, multi-tiered waterfalls crash down in sheets of white foam, their roar echoing through the valley. Nuerlang Waterfall, the widest in Guilin, spreads across a 300-meter span, cascading down like a curtain of silk. In autumn, when the surrounding forests blaze with fiery reds, golds, and oranges, the waterfalls create a dazzling contrast, as if fire and water are dancing together in harmony. In winter, the scene changes again. Water freezes into massive icicles, transforming the falls into glittering crystal sculptures. The forests of Guilin are no less magical. Dense groves of spruce, fir, and birch cover the valley, home to countless birds and rare species. If you are lucky, you might glimpse a golden snub-nosed monkey leaping gracefully among the trees, or even a giant panda roaming through the bamboo groves, symbols of China's deep connection with wildlife conservation. In spring, wildflowers bloom in carpets of color, filling the air with fragrance as butterflies and bees flit between blossoms. Towering above all of this are snow-capped peaks, standing as silent guardians over the valley. Their white summits gleam in the sunlight, their reflections mirrored in the lakes below. The contrast of icy mountains against the warm, colorful forests creates a scene so breathtaking that it feels as if nature herself painted it with the finest brush. What makes Guilin extraordinary is not just its natural beauty but its harmony. Lakes, forests, waterfalls, and mountains come together like instruments in a symphony, each playing its part to create a masterpiece of balance and wonder. Walking along the wooden boardwalks that wind through the valley, you are immersed in the symphony, hearing the rush of water, smelling the pine-scented air, and watching colors shift with every step. It is a place where time slows, worries fade, and only beauty remains. In Guilin, nature reminds us of her artistry, her resilience, and her ability to create perfection beyond imagination. To see this valley is to witness the earth in one of its most spectacular expressions, a sanctuary where water, forest, and mountain exist in eternal harmony. Shanghai National Forest Park, the real-life Avatar Mountains. Few places on Earth ignite the imagination as powerfully as Shanghai National Forest Park, located in China's Hunan province. This extraordinary landscape, with its towering sandstone pillars, misty gorges, and lush greenery, is so surreal that it inspired the floating mountains in James Cameron's blockbuster film Avatar. Standing here feels like stepping into another world, where stone giants rise from the earth, cloaked in mist and mystery. The park is home to more than 3,000 sandstone pillars, some reaching over 200 meters high. These natural skyscrapers were formed over millions of years through erosion, weathering, and geological shifts, sculpted by nature into breathtaking formations. When the morning mist rolls in, the pillars appear to float, creating the illusion of an otherworldly realm suspended between earth and sky. It is this ethereal atmosphere that earns Shanghai its reputation as one of the most spectacular landscapes in China. One of the park's most famous landmarks is the Avatar Hallelujah Mountain, originally known as the Southern Sky Column, rising dramatically above the valley floor. This towering peak became an icon after inspiring the fictional Hallelujah Mountains in the movie. Tourists often gaze up at its sheer vertical cliffs in awe, marveling at how nature can create something so fantastical that it seems beyond imagination. Equally breathtaking is the Tianzi Mountain area, often called the monarch of the peak forest. From its summit, visitors are greeted with panoramic views of thousands of jagged sandstone peaks stretching endlessly into the horizon. In winter, the peaks are blanketed in snow, resembling a fairy tale kingdom of white spires piercing the sky. In spring, they are covered with fresh greenery and blossoming flowers, creating an ever-changing masterpiece of natural beauty. Adding to the park's wonder is the Shanghai Glass Bridge, one of the longest and highest glass-bottom bridges in the world, suspended 300 meters above the valley. This engineering marvel allows visitors to walk on air, looking directly down at the forested canyon beneath their feet. For the brave, it is both terrifying and exhilarating. an unforgettable way to experience the scale and majesty of Zhangjiji's cliffs. Wildlife also thrives in this mystical land. The park shelters rare species such as macaques, clouded leopards, and colorful birds that flit between the cliffs and forests. Bamboo groves and ancient trees cover the valleys, providing a lush green contrast to the pale stone pillars. The natural harmony of rock, forest, and sky creates an atmosphere that feels almost sacred, as if the land itself is alive with stories. What makes Zhangjiajie extraordinary is not just its size or its beauty, but its atmosphere. Walking along its trails, climbing its stairways, and gazing into the misty abyss between towering peaks, you feel the presence of something greater than yourself. It is a place where imagination merges with reality, where myth and landscape intertwine. For many, Zhangjiajie is more than a destination. It is a dreamscape, a reminder of the boundless creativity of nature. Here in the heart of Hunan, Zhangjiajie National Forest Park stands as one of China's greatest wonders, a place where stone and sky meet in eternal balance, and where every step reveals a new layer of awe. Guilin and the Li River, China's timeless painting. If there is a place in China that feels like a living painting, it is without doubt Guilin and the Li River. For centuries, poets, artists, and travelers have celebrated its enchanting scenery, describing it as one of the most beautiful landscapes on Earth. With emerald green waters winding gracefully through a maze of limestone karst mountains, Guilin is a masterpiece of nature that has inspired countless Chinese ink paintings. The Li River is the heart of this wonder, stretching 83 kilometers between Guilin and the ancient town of Yangshuo. As the boat glides along its jade-colored surface, each bend reveals another breathtaking scene: towering karst peaks, lush bamboo forests, fishermen on bamboo rafts, and water buffalo grazing along the riverbanks. The reflections of the peaks in the still waters double the beauty, creating a dreamlike symmetry that feels almost unreal. Perhaps the most iconic view is the nine-horse fresco hill, where weathered cliffs resemble shapes of galloping horses, an image often highlighted in traditional Chinese poetry. Another unforgettable moment comes at Xingping, where the river curves gracefully around dramatic peaks. This particular view is so famous that it appears on the back of China's 20 yuan banknote, immortalizing Guilin's beauty as part of the nation's identity. Beyond the river, the town of Yangshuo offers a perfect blend of charm and tradition. Narrow streets lined with red lanterns, lively markets, and riverside cafes make it a favorite among travelers. Cycling through its countryside, visitors encounter endless rice paddies, quiet villages, and dramatic mountain backdrops that feel frozen in time. At night, the landscape transforms into a stage for the famous Impression Lu Sanje show, where lights, music, and hundreds of performers bring the legends of the Li River to life against the silhouette of the karst peaks. The region is also rich in cultural heritage. For centuries, the Li River has been home to traditional fishermen who use trained cormorants to catch fish, a practice that is now rarely seen but still preserved for visitors as a glimpse into a vanishing way of life. The simplicity of this tradition, set against the grandeur of the karst landscape, captures the harmonious relationship between humans and nature that defines Guilin. Each season paints the Li River differently. In spring, mist drapes itself over the peaks, turning the landscape into a soft watercolor painting. In summer, lush greenery and glowing sunlight bring vibrancy to the mountains. Autumn adds golden rice fields, while winter cloaks the riverbanks in quiet stillness. No matter when you visit, Guilin seems eternal, as though its beauty exists outside the boundaries of time. What makes Guilin and the Li River extraordinary is not just its scenery, but the way it feels like a window into China's soul. It is a place where the natural world mirrors the artistry of ancient paintings, and where each bend in the river reveals a new verse of poetry written by the land itself. Here, in the serene embrace of Guilin, travelers discover one of the most poetic wonders of China. A landscape so timeless, it feels as though it belongs to both history and eternity. As our journey through the wonders of China comes to an end, we are left with memories of a land where history and nature exist in perfect harmony. From the majestic Great Wall stretching across mountains, to the mystical Forbidden City echoing with tales of emperors, from the futuristic skyline of Shanghai, to the serene landscapes of Guilin and the Li River, every corner of China reveals a different story, one of resilience, beauty, and timeless tradition. China is not just a destination, it is an experience. A country where every sunrise paints a masterpiece over misty mountains, and every sunset reflects centuries of culture and wisdom. Whether in its bustling cities or tranquil villages, China embraces travelers with a sense of awe that lingers long after the journey ends. This vast and extraordinary land reminds us that to travel here is to walk through living history, to witness nature's artistry, and to feel the heartbeat of one of the world's oldest civilizations. Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable journey through the wonders of China. If you enjoyed exploring with us, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Travel with a Plan for more breathtaking adventures across the globe. Until next time, keep your spirit of wonder alive, and let the world be your guide.